Good afternoon and welcome to Options Tender. It is Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Welcome everybody. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames, going down to from the monthly down to the 65, and then we'll check out IWM. IWM is the small caps. We'll check that out on multiple time frames as well. And my thesis is the small caps are done correcting, and we're looking for more upside. And now a lot of these individual names that we're posting on the members video are going to start moving and moving soon. They already started. So if you're new here, go down to that bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Center logo and subscribe. Thanks for all the likes and all the support we've had here. Let's see. We have SPY on the monthly time frame. You see the 2000 trend line in the 2022 top. We're getting near there. We're constantly talking about that 545 area. So it looks like price wants to get up there, getting to the edge of last month's high. We could break out from there and go straight towards there, but we have a couple of scenarios that we've been talking about that maybe we get a correction first, a couple things happening, but it looks like price wants to go directly up there so far. Above the 8 indicator. All right, let's move down to the weekly. On this weekly time frame, here's a different way of looking at it. Nice push from last week's doji candle, getting follow through now. That's very important. We're pushing off that 8 EMA. That's our trend indicator. I started to talk about this being, started deciphering between these two. I want to talk about these two a little bit different now. 20 simple moving average. That's the verbiage, our trend indicator. And we're changing the verbiage for this 8 EMA to the momentum indicator, okay? This last move, this wave 3, potentially wave 3 that we're talking about, never got underneath that 8 EMA until it topped out. So that's our momentum indicator, or price is holding above. And the check back to the trend would be that 20 simple moving average. So the trend is up. Momentum is up. We are long the market. Okay, so looking at, I'm not going to point out any of these indicators because we have negative divergence on all time frames. So we're going to continue with traditional technical analysis and then some of the projections with the Elliott waves, fibs, and things like that. So we're getting this push. Next couple weeks, we're looking to get to this 545 area. Now that could happen as soon as like FOMC happens. As long as we hold above this 8 EMA, we could see this fairly quick in the next couple weeks. Let's go to the Elliott wave on the weekly. So we do these videos often, so make sure you hit that notification button. Right now, we're looking at the only thing on the weekly time frame around the middle of July, around 7:15 or so. We're looking for. We have a cluster of time relationships. So I don't know if maybe that's where we start to see some tops or so on the weekly time frame. Our ultimate target is the 560 zone. Okay, so as long as we're holding above the 20 and especially the 8 EMA. We're looking to get to this 560. Now, we could go straight up there. It's possible, but with the wedges and such and the negative divergence, I do suspect we'll get a correction before we reach there, and then we get up there. And I show that on the daily time frame, so make sure you stick around. Another thing I want to constantly mention is if you want to watch these videos a little bit faster, recommend a 1.5 speed. I talk fairly slow, so you can get this full video in a quarter of the time. So, or shave a quarter of the time off of these videos while watching the full thing through. I learned that technique from my wife. All right, so that's all we have to show here. Let's go down to the daily. Daily trend is our friend. We'll start off with traditional technical analysis, and we have our wedge, a rising wedge we're filling out here, and that confluence above us is that 545 area. Okay, so we're getting a nice push. We got back above that 8 momentum indicator, the 8 EMA. We're holding the trend. All this looks good for the bulls, and now we're getting a nice push with the gap and go. We're going to work with this high here. I do think we get above that high in the next couple days, and then our ultimate target is up here to the 545 area. Okay, so we had a nice correction. We're just now getting back above here, so I do suppose that we trend up here to these targets. Now, I have a visual of what this might look like if we want to get to a higher target than this 545 and ultimately that weekly 560 zone. We have some sort of correction. Not sure that we'll actually make it a low underneath here at that 590 or that 495, but I do suppose we'll get some sort of correction, and we'll talk about that when we get there, and we'll look at all the different supports that we have and such before we start talking about where support is. Okay, but we get some sort of correction, and then we have one last push up to the top of that trend again, that 2000 trend resistance from the 2000 and 2022. All right, and then you see our 560 up here. Now, the further this goes out, obviously that price goes higher for the resistance. Okay, now looking at the Elliott wave, we're looking at this being an ending diagonal. And so if you're new here, I constantly show this so you kind of see our pathway. This being a wave one, there's a 5-wave move that we're looking for. This is made up of 3 waves in each wave. All right, so we have a 3-wave move for 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for wave 5 right now to continue. Now, what could happen here is this is an A, B, and we get up to our second target here, which is that 545 area. I have this from the last video drawn out. This could be the A, B, and then C, and this be all over. You know, I'll be looking out for the Fed pivot. I think that's coming soon, and that will, to me, will indicate the reversal of the market, and this will be our primary situation if the Fed pivots. Now, I'll keep that as a secondary situation. If the Fed does not pivot, then this should be something like this, where we have completed the 5-wave move up for A. We get a 3-wave move down for B, and then a 5-wave move up for C, up to the last target, the final target of this move at around the 560, and then recession after that. Okay, so we have some time relationships coming up here. We have FOMC on 6/12, but then we have some time relationships on 6/17 and 6/21. So we'll be looking in this area for a possible top, a minor top. Okay, and then after we get a reversal, if and when we get a reversal, then we'll look for some more time relationships into a low. And we'll talk much more about that later as we get there. But I see we have a big old cluster right here at the end of July. So that, you know, honestly, that could be where our low is. Remember these time relationships, that could be a low, and then we can move higher from there. But just remember, our time relationships don't show direction. It's just where price is going into those time relationships. We can look for a possible follow through or reversal. Okay, now let's go to the 65, and then we'll run through IWM a little bit quicker. On the 65-minute, looking at the traditional technical analysis, we had our time relationship pass by at 5:31. It was a Friday and just had a ramp going into there. So we had a great low. It worked out perfect. That's what we're looking for. And it came close to getting down to the uptrend line and the 200 moving average. Didn't quite get there. And now we're starting to make some moves. We're testing the top there. Had an inverse head and shoulder, possibly go back to retrace and then move higher from there. And then I just want to indicate the FOMC is here. And getting into those prices, we could be looking for the time relationships, going into mid-June, the ones that I just mentioned. Here would be the box, that confluence of the 645 area. But I do want to note that since we didn't get down here, we may have some unfinished business, a little bit lower. We could still make a higher low and still test the bottom of the trend line. This is the one going all the way to the bottom. So even if we do want to test this trend still, maybe this is a B, C situation, D, E. Maybe it's a triangle. Maybe we're going to go sideways a little bit into FOMC, and that's when we get our burst to the upside after that consolidation. So lots of things could happen here. I don't think we'll get underneath this trend, but if we do, then we have to start thinking about something else. And I think this, maybe this run is over, but we're going to be bullish anywhere above these trend lines here. Okay, keep it simple. We're bullish above. Now going to the Elliott wave picture, we had our correction here, but projections from this correction here are the 127, the first target, and the last target, so 162. We had a retracement off of this extension already, and now we're looking to get to that further extension into some sort of time relationship. All right, so we are in a cluster right now. Price is higher. I do think we could possibly get some sort of reversal or correction going into the next relationship. Okay, so this, like I said, good chance that it could continue to move just directly higher, consolidate higher. But you just have to keep in mind, if we do start correcting, then I think this is more of a sideways move until we get a catalyst to go higher. We are in a time relationship right now, so testing the highs. All right, and whenever the market is consolidating like this, that really helps individual names. We know that we're bullish, we're in a bullish posture. Even though the market might correct a little bit, a lot of our individual names will continue to push to the upside, and as the market consolidates, and then really get a lift off in our next move up there. So I'm not long SPY anymore, and IWM, I took a long earlier. I posted that on the members, supporters and whatnot on YouTube, and so that worked out really well. I'm out of it already and moved on to other names. So we have a lot of calls going on, and most of them are out to 621. But you can check those out if you become a supporter. Really cheap. I think it's just $1. Let's go to IWM, and we're going to do top down, and I'm going to move quick on this. All right. So this is the reason why I am long a lot of small caps, and then we'll do Bitcoin possibly tomorrow because we're in some Bitcoin peripheral names as well. So we have this rising wedge and channel for the small caps, and we're in a smaller sense, we have this megaphone correction happening. So I do think this is the top. We have a correction, and I think we'll test towards the bottom of the channel and or further down, going into the 200 moving average for the monthly and possibly even lower. So right now we have a megaphone happening, and I think we test the top of that megaphone. As time goes by, we could get up to possibly the 220 area. That puts us directly in the middle of this consolidation zone. So that would be our support resistance back here, and act like resistance if and when we get up to those points. Moving to, and I think we can take a quick look at the indicators. So we have the price action. We have momentum to the upside. We're in positive area territory, and the RSI is about neutral, with the slow stoke giving us a little bit of problems here, crossing back under. But I do think this could possibly just go sideways. Now on the lower time frames, it's a little bit different. So could that slow stoke be to where we get higher prices and then get a lower high in the slow stoke? Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. We'd have a negative divergence. Okay. Going to the weekly. All right, on this weekly time frame, this consolidation area has expanded just a little bit more, but we got into that area and rejected off of there. But we're holding 200 simple moving average on the weekly time frame, and I'm guessing with this 8 momentum and the 20 simple, we're holding both of those right now. We got a new low with positive divergence on the lower time frames, and I think we do get above this 211 mark. And then once we get back into the zone, anything can happen. We can reach all the way up to the 230, and anything in between. Right in the middle is about 220, and I'll show you some extensions and some retracements there as well that we can look forward to. So if small caps really start going, we could get up to this 230 area at the top of the channel there, and still make a lower high. Overall on the small caps. Looking quickly, we have again momentum still up. In a little histogram here of a bear cross, but I think that's where we had our correction, and now we're looking to go higher from there. So we have some negative divergence up here. I do think we'll make more negative divergence as price goes higher, and the small caps really likes to push divergences, so we have to always be careful that it can make multiple divergences before making a reversal. Look at this one here. We had a high in the RSI here in January, and then negative divergence, and then had our correction sideways, then had another negative divergence here before correcting. That's just one example there. Don't need to look at any of these right now. On the daily time frame, trend is our friend. Then we'll look at the Elliott wave. Posted here earlier for members, an inverse head and shoulder. You could also, there's the bottom of that channel right here where we made our top. We have a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and some people can also look at this. They'll probably look at this as an ascending triangle. If we hold this trend line here, that's forming a wedge as well. We're filling out the wedge just like the major market, just a little bit more sideways than the market is steeper, SPY is steeper. And we're getting a nice reversal candle off the 50. And we're going to fight with this 8 EMA right now. Let's see if we close over it or under. We're underneath the trend. The trend technically is still down, but the higher time frames dominate. And we're looking to get back over the 8 EMA and the 20 to give us a little bit healthier market structure. So could we see a little bit more consolidation? Possible. I do think we have a low in though, and this is the channel bottom that I was talking about in my post earlier, that we're at major support from this huge channel. Price has been oscillating around it, got back under it, and now we're holding on top of it again. I think we fill this wedge here again. And you see the top of the wedge over time can get us to about the 220 area. It doesn't have to stop there, but again, just like the major market, that would be an objective short. So we'll probably take that short and, maybe consolidate and move one step higher, and actually could break out from this possible wedge as well as a throw over. And there's the 530 area, which will coincide with this gap zone. So looks like market wants to test the gap. Let's go over to the Elliott wave and show you what that looks like. There's a big correction here where this is all of this is an A. So where we had an A, B, C into A larger A in the red. And we're looking for B to complete. And so I think we already have an A in. You can put this a couple different ways. You can have A up here, A down here, it doesn't matter. Where this is a running flat. And then we're looking for a completion, a 5-wave move up here for possibly all the way up to 230 at this 100% extension. So where do I get that extension from? The A wave equaling the B wave. All right, and this one is assuming that the B wave ended here. All right, so there's a couple ways we can count that, and this could even go higher if we decide to make the B up here, then possibly get to the 234 area, which would be the very top of that zone that the consolidation zone. But for now, to be a little bit more conservative, keep ourselves in check, we'll keep it at the 230. It makes sense. And then for our retracements for this entire move, from the bottom of A to the top of wave A, we have our 62% retracement, which we're just underneath. Price could stop there around the zone and end there. Depends what the timing is, what the rest of the market is doing. I think it's less likely. So if we get on top of this 213, 214 zone, get on top of there, which this should be a wave 3 that should easily get on top of there. I think that our next target is 226 to 230 zone. So we'll call this a zone right here where we will no longer hold any calls. All right, that's where we'll be looking for a reversal. If price gets above here, then I think the next stop is the top of the zone. And, you know, that's basically what I want to show you. I'll do the 65. But we have our swings out there already, and we're looking for individual names to start moving. And so after this correction here, we had a nice move, and now we're bull flagging, and we're right on top of that 200 moving average, and we're still pushing nice and strong here. And I do think eventually, after we make some market structure, because we do have a low here, we made a new positive divergent low here at the top of the channel, also with the gap, and now we're straight up here. So I do suppose we make some market structure. I don't know where this will end, but we should see higher lows, higher highs, and then a breakout from this flag. So while price is doing this, I think individual names will start to step up, and then if we get a breakout, then we'll really start moving, and a lot of the small names there. All right, that's what I got for you. We can check out the VIX just to end this. And our VIX is getting a rejection, allowing the market to pull back. So that's what I think it'll do. I think this thing will start trending to the downside, get back into complacency, and possibly make a new low while the market is doing its work to get up to that 245 area and SPY. Until then, you know, if we want to, if the market wants to correct and do that sideways price action that I was talking about, we'll probably see multiple spikes in the VIX, and possibly, I don't think this will really move sideways, but possible spikes in the VIX, and then finally a breakout in the market, and VIX get crushed. That's how I see it. I'll do these videos each and every day. Now that we have supporters jumping in here and stepping up, we'll keep doing these videos. And thank you for all the support and all the likes and all that. Jits and jazz. We'll talk to you tomorrow.